Hey, what's going on? This week has been a pretty rough week here at the ranch. As you can see, we are completely flooded out with days more rain in the forecast. To add to that, it's also at or below freezing. So taking care of the animals this week has been difficult to say the least, but we did manage to go ahead and get the solar energizer set up for the pigs. So this is our solar cart that we built for the pigs. It is a lithium 100 amp hour battery. I'll include a link to what we bought. It seems to be working great. It's a speed right 6000 controller, which is 6 joules. I measure it putting out around 11,000 volts on this line, which is plenty hot for pigs. And then you have this 50-watt solar panel, and we also have a smart charger that charges the battery. So that covers the Energizer cart. I do have a video I will link to that includes how to make that particular cart. We just used a wheel dolly and a battery box and then kind of just bolted everything together, but sometimes it helps to see other people's ideas. I know in this case, with training these pigs on the electric line, I definitely have taken some cues from some pretty smart people, Joel Salatin being one of them. I watched a few videos where he covered how to train the pigs onto wire, but I never saw anyone actually do it. So I kind of just took the concept and went ahead and implemented it myself, and I wanted to show you guys what I did. I'm not saying that this is necessarily the perfect way to do it, but it does give you an idea if you're trying to train your pigs on a hot wire, what you could do. One of the things that Joel covers whenever he talks about doing this is making sure that you use a good quality wire, and you want to use springs on it. And I didn't really understand the spring part until I watched how the pigs interact with it, at least at first. When the pigs first interact with this wire, they will freak out. It shocks them, it scares them, and you want to make sure that the wire has some give, otherwise they will pull straight through it and break it. So here's what I did. At Tractor Supply, they had a 2-pack of these springs, and if you look now, like this wire, it's tight, but it can, like, I can push it all the way to the ground and it will flex.
Now this is probably unique to our specific build, but our fence is a horse panel fence, which is completely conductive. So we had to have something where we could mount the hot wire to the fence. So I just simply took 2 stakes and bolted them through. That way I had kind of a base. But if you had post, if your fence was all post, you would just use the post itself. But I used these 2 stakes bolted together, and then I took this L bracket that I had sitting around in the garage, just for normal construction stuff, and I used that as my base for the springs to hook to. So this is really just simply a place to mount one end of the wire. And if you come across, I wanted that wire to hang pretty low to the ground. So I took stakes and just put staples through each of the stakes. That way I could kind of maintain the level of that wire as it goes across here to the other side. And once I get to the other side, I just use the post. But since they're piglets and their snouts are very low to the ground, this is kind of a required step so that you can keep it low to the ground.
Same thing, I just wrap the wire through it. So now when the pigs want to come to this corner right here, they will have to go obviously through this, and they'll get shocked. As a matter of fact, I watched it happen yesterday, and today I did not see any of them try to do it, but we'll obviously keep this up. The other nice thing about this particular setup is, because I'm using this horse panel, when I want to move this, when we move the pigs to this next paddock, I can just take this, unscrew it from this panel, use a post just like I did there, and wherever it lands, presumably possibly here again, I can use that. So this is just one way to do it, but if you're like me and you wanted to kind of visually see it, I'm sure that most people, if they're like me, you want to see it once and then you have your own ideas. That's kind of what all this is about, to be honest with you. It's taking principles from people that are super smart like Joel and implementing them on your piece of property. So I'm sure that I don't do it exactly the way that Joel does it. I probably don't do anything the exact way that anybody does it, but I do take a lot of the concepts from the really smart people and modify them to either fit within my budgetary constraints or my property constraints, or whatever it may be. That's kind of what all this is about. It's not, you're not going to get a perfect blueprint, but I do hope that being able to see how you could train pigs on a hot wire would be helpful. You know, especially with the springs, because this kind of did throw me for a loop as to why you'd want this. But if you did not have this, when they hit this line, something's gonna give. Either it'll pull it through, or you could even break the line. This way, they can really hit this line with some gusto, and it doesn't break the line. It just keeps it up perfectly. So anyway, pretty cool. I thought maybe you guys would like that. What I'll plan to do is start using this in obviously from now on in every paddock, and then eventually when they get to this, after this paddock, we will just make a paddock with this and try to keep them in that way. And then once we're comfortable that they are good on a hot wire and they're old enough, we will move them out to the forest on the hot wire. So keep watching the videos. I'm going to keep trying to make interesting content. This week was a little tough. Like I said, the weather here, it's been brutal. But I do plan to make one video every week. Hopefully, Sarah and I kind of want to get into a rhythm with that and do some update videos and whatnot. So if you could like and subscribe to the video, like the video and subscribe to the channel. We really do appreciate that. And you know, we're not making any money on this stuff, but we really enjoy this lifestyle, and we'd love to share it with you guys. So if you could like the video, subscribe, be awesome. And until next week.